MMOs have been in a really weird place recently, especially with the decline of live service and the rise of complete games in 2023. But one thing that has been very clear to me personally is that I'm no longer getting hate for liking New World. And as all things considered, it's actually done really well for itself here in 2023. But in this video, I want to look forward to next year, to 2024, with a focus in on one game, Throne and Liberty. So hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Brian if you happen to be new around here, and if you're part of this ever inching closer to 75,000 subscribers, thank you, welcome in and welcome back. I try to bring transparency to my videos and to all the numbers, so be sure to keep it locked to the channel. If you are especially a content creator and you have any questions and you just want to know about the ropes, let me know. I'm always here trying to help people do the very best that they can do on social media. But anyway, let's focus in on the topic at hand. Since we've been covering Throne and Liberty here on the channel, I've been one of the big defenders of the game as a software engineer, as somebody who dabbles in game development, who spends their life working and breathing in code. Now, I've been able to actually set some context to what we learned about the game in 2023. The TLDR, for those of you who are new to the channel and haven't seen those videos, New World's auto battle. Absolutely controversial. A lot of people wrote it off right at the start. But I said, well, if they treat this technical test, this beta, as they should, they're going to be able to take it. They're going to make changes to it. And unfortunately, that's just going to take some time. And here's the thing. That's exactly what they did. There is no auto battle. They've refined combat, and they're doing even more tests, really trying to refine the game as best they can. And the thing about all of this is it takes time. And so the game shifted from 2023 release into a 2024 release. And that's where this game, I think one of the big ones, also Blue Protocol, and I'll talk about that in another video. But those two games alone shifting into 2024 is going to make next year a really big year for these kind of games. So this is just obviously, in my perspective, a good sign. Beyond this one, obviously, I wanted to touch on the biggest reasons why I felt Throne and Liberty will be one of the biggest MMOs to launch in 2024. And that's not to say that this game isn't going to have a surge of new players that eventually move on to other games. That's one of my biggest pet peeves about any game player population online. People like to look at hype numbers and equate those to the overall fullness of the community. And that's not really what it is. It's just hype numbers. And then things settle down, and then the community kind of gets set. And then they either grow, they stagnate, or then they decline from that perspective. But it takes a couple of years, at least from my estimates, from when we look at all the data, at least 2 to 3 years for an MMO truly to kind of come into its own, to really establish itself and what it is intending to do. But I do say Throne of Liberty is going to be a game to watch next year. And the reasons why, we should start with the latest development from the game and from the team, the confidential tech test thank you letter that was posted over on playthroneandliberty.com. They state, with the confidential test, technical test closing at 7 p.m. on October 3rd, we wanted to share a word of thanks to all those who participated in the test. Our teams, both at Amazon Games and NCSoft, greatly appreciate enthusiastic participation, candid feedback, and support shown by the players. Now, as things wrap up, we'd like to remind everyone that the playtest is confidential. You may not disclose in any form the content from this playtest, including any information about the game, its features, announcement date, and live release plan. Any breach of confidentiality will be treated seriously. We're excited to use the feedback and data gathered in this test to improve the core experience and the technical infrastructure, taking this time to make Throne and Liberty the best that it can be is our top priority. Players around the world will benefit from the level of care and detail that is being put into the development and addressing player concerns. And we'll be able to talk more about that and those specific improvements very soon. So then they say you can go ahead and follow them on their various different socials and be sure to sign up for future tests. So this tells me in this message alone that it could possibly be late spring, early summer of 2024 when this game's going to deliver. It's going to be interesting to see how it stacks up with Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail, which is set to release early summer of 2024. And I know that's going to have a big draw, especially in my neck of the woods, where I've got a lot of friends who still play that game or have been on long breaks and are looking to return for that expansion. For me personally, I have to lose over 100 pounds before I can play Final Fantasy 14 again. And so far this year alone, I've lost 40 pounds. So we're there. We're getting there. We've got 60 to go, 60% progress to make, but we're going to keep plugging away at it. If you guys are struggling in that area too, sound off in the comments below, and we can maybe have just a, if we want to talk in Discord, if we want to talk on a live stream about it, let me know, because I want to help encourage you guys to be the best versions of yourself as my voice cracks, because puberty is thing. Anyway, so let's move on. There are, I think, a couple of other reasons that this game in and of itself is going to be mass appealing, and it's going to be one of those moments in time where at least everybody goes to check it out. And the first thing for me, and this is anybody who's been a veteran here at the channel knows, crossplay console and controller support out of the box are massive. Those are three awesome features in one, rather than have each have their own bullet point. These three things are going to mean the game is more accessible to a wider range of players. And when it comes to these kind of games, player numbers almost is everything. I'm not talking about hype numbers. I'm talking about player numbers, people who want to just get in, have fun, and be able to pick up where they left off. Now, that means also this game is free to play. And while I used to have a major concern about free to play in the past, as my life has only gotten busier with the kids and being able to kind of step into a game risk-free via something like Game Pass or a free-to-play game is actually become a major selling factor where I decide to try and put my time. But that's not to say it's not without its downsides, and as any risk that comes with a free-to-play game doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be bad up front, but it means that it could always become bad later, because at some point, Amazon wants to turn a profit. NCSoft wants to be turning a profit, and they're going to have to do that in some form or fashion, and will be interesting to see how that plays out in the long run. Keep it locked here to the channel for obviously Throne of Liberty, because if it becomes overly pay to win, if it becomes these major concerns, I want to educate you. That's what I feel from a parent. If you got kids out there, I spend a lot of time trying to educate parents on the pros and cons, especially around these games, because for kids, I'm very concerned about gambling mechanics. Like, I don't like that. I don't want my kids playing that. I don't want them, as their brain develops, to be inundated with those kind of things. So that's just kind of in a personal side. The third major kind of pull here, and a lot of people have written this off in the past, and that's why I say, like, to kind of bring this back to the start of the video. People are no longer, giving me crap for liking New World, is because they continue to put in the work and they continue to market, and that's Amazon. Amazon, with their technology, with their server architecture and their marketing, have been massive for New World. They have been massive for Lost Ark. They know how to get the word out about these games, and they almost make them events that you want to be a part of, and that is a lot because they have the power of Twitch. Now, I have personal issues with Twitch from a platform, how it locks people into an exclusivity deal without actually giving them any thing truly in return. If you guys want to ever see my thoughts on them, I post them here on the video. I'm sure you can find them if you're truly interested. But the TLDR is that when you get fan funding on Twitch, they take a cut and then they lock you into their platform, where other platforms say, stream everywhere, be everywhere. And they, Twitch comes in to say it's a part of the, they're trying to make the user experience better. I do think Twitch has the best user experience, but it has the worst in terms of content creator freedoms. And that's something that I just kind of push back on. But this isn't a Twitch rant video. We're going to wrap it up here, I promise you, on this note. So, guys, obviously, we've got a lot of road until the launch of Throne and Liberty, and I'm going to cover the news as it breaks, the information as it breaks, as I have been doing all in 2023. I'm very excited to go hands-on with this game, to give you guys, obviously, controller guides. That's one of the big things that I end up spending time with, because I love controller gameplay. And and I thank you guys so much for hanging out for this video. If you made it all the way to the end, sound off with do you like thrones or do you like liberties more? Do you like kingship or freedom? Sound off in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on either. What speaks to you most, and then what you're most interested in as well. Thanks again for being here. If you feel like the video earns it, hit that like button. I'm gonna probably push kind of a 50 like goal challenge for those of you still here. So if we can get the video to 50 likes, then you win. It's that simple. Anyway, thanks again for being here. I love you faces. Hopefully you have a wonderful and fantastic day. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. But until then, take care.